Imagine owning a sun-drenched farm where vibrant red peppers ripen across rolling acres. Every autumn, you harvest sweet capsicums, smoke them slowly over aromatic oak embers in rustic stone barns, and package the rich, crimson spice into elegant vintage tins. Gourmet chefs and home cooks eagerly buy your product for $10 a tin. It sounds like the ultimate pastoral dream. A romantic, high-margin craft business rooted in timeless tradition. Now, let us look at the financial reality. Growing the peppers is actually the easiest part of the entire operation. The moment you harvest those peppers, you enter an unforgiving race against raw, brutal thermodynamic realities and crushing fuel costs. Within 2 weeks of harvest, nearly 85 to 90% of your crop's physical weight will literally vanish into thin air. You spend thousands of dollars on hardwood fuel, endless sleepless nights tending smoldering fires, and staggering amounts of manual labor, all to destroy the vast majority of the tonnage you worked 6 months to grow. Here is the underlying truth most beginners fail to realize. You are not in the farming business. You are running a high-stakes, wood-fired thermodynamic dehydration and bulk milling operation that masquerades as an artisan spice. The spice world is not a single monolith. If you decide to step into the smoked paprika industry, you must choose one of 4 distinct business models. Each model serves a completely different customer, requires different capital commitments, and relies on a unique revenue structure. First is the protected designation artisan, or boutique single-estate model. This is the prestige tier, often tied to protected geographical indications, like Pimenton de la Vera in Spain, or emerging high-end domestic craft farms in North America. Your target customers are specialty grocery retailers, high-end culinary boutiques, fine dining restaurants, and direct-to-consumer gourmets. You sell small 75-gram to 100-gram tins for $8 to $15 each. Margins per gram are extraordinarily high, but production volumes are strictly limited by smokehouse capacity, labor-intensive wood turning, and rigid certification rules. The second model is the commercial bulk processor. This model ignores decorative tins entirely. The business focuses on supplying commercial food manufacturers, meat packers, barbecue rub brands, and industrial sausage producers. You sell in 25-pound boxes or 500-kilogram pallets at wholesale commodity rates per pound. Profitability depends entirely on massive acreage, mechanical harvesting, continuous automated smoke tunnels, or liquid smoke infusion, and maximum throughput. Third is the integrated agrotourism and farm-to-table model. Here, the farm monetizes the experience of spice production alongside the finished product. You cater to culinary tourists, regional travelers, subscription box subscribers, and weekend visitors. Your multi-layered income combines direct retail sales, tasting room fees, guided harvest tours, culinary workshops, and branded gift sets. The agricultural spice output serves as a customer acquisition engine. The real profit margins come from hospitality, merchandise, and retail markups that subsidize agricultural overhead. The fourth model is the extraction and color fraction grower. This is the least romantic but highly standardized segment. You grow specific pepper cultivars for natural color extraction, known in the food industry as paprika olorsen. You sell to chemical extraction laboratories, natural dye manufacturers, and cosmetics processors. You rely on pure commodity pricing, strictly indexed to standardized color units and extractable pigment density. Zero smoking occurs on-site. Peppers are grown purely as raw biological pigment material, competing directly on yield efficiency and chemical concentration. Many aspiring spice farmers calculate land rent, seed prices, and basic tractor costs, assuming they can simply sell dried peppers for a quick return. They quickly discover that the capital expenditure barriers in smoked paprika are clustered off the field. You cannot dry paprika in an ordinary barn. Traditional smoking requires two-story curing houses. The ground floor houses open, smoldering oak hearths. The upper level features a slatted oak or metallic floor, where fresh peppers sit in deep beds. Constructing a compliant, fire-resistant, properly ventilated facility represents a substantial upfront capital expenditure before harvesting a single pound. Authentic smoked paprika demands seasoned hardwood, traditionally home oak or white oak. Green wood produces acrid, bitter soot that ruins the spice. Seasoned wood must be procured, cut, and dried months or even years in advance, creating an ongoing working capital lockup. You cannot run dried peppers through standard hammer mills. High-speed grinding creates frictional heat, which oxidizes volatile essential oils and turns vibrant red powder into a dull brown, bitter paste. Producers must invest in specialized granite stone mills or chilled roller mills running at low revolutions per minute to preserve flavor and hue. Paprika is highly photosensitive and prone to rapid oxidation. Selling a shelf-stable product requires opaque, airtight tinning systems or nitrogen-dosed vacuum packaging lines. Ordinary clear plastic bags cause the product to lose its vibrant grade within months. Because the drying process involves wood smoke and high ambient humidity, every commercial batch must undergo strict laboratory testing. They check for moisture content, aflatoxins, heavy metals, and polycyclic aromatic hydrocarbons. These compliance costs are fixed and recurring regardless of your harvest size. Every business has a governing economic tension. For the smoked paprika farmer, that tension is defined by a fundamental reality. The more you invest in deep, traditional wood smoking to create world-class flavor, the more physical product weight you destroy. Yet the global market treats spice as a replaceable commodity if your pricing oversteps by even a fraction. Consider the mathematics of dehydration. Fresh peppers are roughly 80 to 90% water by weight. It takes roughly 7 to 9 pounds of fresh, ripe peppers to yield just 1 single pound of dried smoked flakes. When you light your smokehouse fires, you burn expensive oak cords for 10 to 15 days straight. Day and night, workers must shovel and manually flip thousands of pounds of hot peppers in a dense smoke-filled room to prevent rot and scorching. Every hour that passes improves the rich, complex aroma, but every hour also evaporates your tonnage. You are actively spending money on fuel and labor to reduce your sellable mass by nearly 90%. If you attempt to pass every cent of that craft production cost onto commercial buyers, they will simply turn to industrially sprayed liquid smoke alternatives from bulk overseas producers. You must achieve artisanal perfection while operating within rigid price ceilings. Consider the trajectory of a mid-scale agricultural estate that transitions 10 acres of prime land into specialized smoked paprika production. In their first 2 seasons, the farm focuses entirely on agricultural yield. They install precision drip irrigation, plant high-yielding cultivars, and achieve an impressive harvest of nearly 80,000 pounds of fresh red peppers. Then, reality sets in during the post-harvest phase. Because their curing smokehouse could only process 20,000 pounds at a time, the remaining harvest had to wait in cold storage. This drove energy bills through the roof and caused early mold in damp crates. To survive, the estate makes 3 pivotal strategic pivots. First, staggered planting schedules. Instead of one massive autumn harvest, they plant tiered cultivars that mature across a 6-week window, leveling out the drying facility's capacity curve. Second, cooperative milling partnerships. Instead of purchasing a $200,000 low-temperature milling line, they partner with an established regional grain and spice mill, paying a toll processing fee per pound. Third, channel diversification. They divide their final 10,000 pounds of dry powder into 2 distinct streams. 60% is sold in bulk to craft hot sauce maker, charcuterie artisans, and barbecue brands at dependable wholesale rates. The remaining 40% is packaged into branded tins sold direct to consumer and through high-margin specialty culinary platforms. By acknowledging their facility limits and refusing to overcapitalize on heavy machinery early, the farm stabilizes its cash flow and avoids the bankruptcy that claims so many undercapitalized spice startups. Agricultural spice ventures experience extreme financial swing. Because the product undergoes both an open-field growing cycle and an intensive thermal curing phase, risk factors compound at every step. In a favorable year, the spring weather is mild, followed by a warm, predictable summer. Drip irrigation delivers balanced nutrients, resulting in vibrant, thick-walled peppers with rich natural sugars and high pigment levels. A dry, crisp autumn allows the harvest to finish without rot. Inside the smokehouse, low ambient humidity allows the oak smoke to permeate the drying beds efficiently. The firewood burns clean and slow. Yield conversion reaches a favorable 7.5 to 1 ratio. The milled powder scores a premium color, rating with deep natural sweetness. Direct-to-consumer tins sell out, wholesale accounts reorder early, and the business captures healthy net margins between 22 and 28%. But in a challenging year, a cold, wet spring delays planting by 3 weeks, pushing harvest directly into late autumn rains. Persistent rain in the fields breeds fungal root rot and fruit disease, destroying 15% of the crop before picking begins. Harvested peppers arrive at the smokehouse waterlogged. It now takes nearly 9.5 pounds of wet pepper to yield a single pound of dry spice. Damp atmospheric conditions require double the oak firewood to maintain drying temperatures, causing fuel costs to surge by 35%. Uneven drying leads to faint soot deposits and lower pigment concentration. Specialty retail buyers reject the lower-grade batch, forcing the farm to offload the inventory at steep discounts on the bulk commodity market. The operation burns through cash reserves, finishing the season with double-digit net losses. The economics of a smoked paprika farm reveal a profound lesson about value, craftsmanship, and trade-offs. In this industry, your true margin is never measured simply by the volume of crop you pull from the soil, but by how wisely you manage the fire that burns away your harvest to give the spice its soul.